Welcome to the weekend, which means it's about time to end First Edition week. And we ended off the only way I have left, because I only have 2 more of these toys. We are doing the leaders, starting with the big guy himself, Voyager-class Optimus Prime. Back to being a familiar semi-truck without flames on him. I can deal with the long nose, but just please do not put corny blue flames on the hood. Thank you. As said, he is a long-nosed semi-truck. I don't know if there's a model he's based on, but he does look quite cool. And as sleek as a gigantic rolling engine with windows can. Yeah, I'm going to get it out of the way right now. He rolls very well. All 6 wheels hit the ground if you transform him correctly. So, okay, I'm having fun now, Okay, I guess we start with the detail as always. Starting at the front, we have a very tiny Autobot emblem, serving as the truck emblem. Appropriate enough. We see this a lot on Primes these days. Lights going all the way across the gray piece that trims all the way around on all the windshields. Going back to the front, we can see some rivets here in this massive bumper, some nice detailing on the grille, and the headlights, which are cast in translucent blue plastic with a little bit of molding just to give the right illusion. On the side here, we've got some steel plates here. A lot of little details. You can see door handles here. A lot of rivets tracing all the way around the edges everywhere on this toy. All the way through the front as well. Little panels are molded in. Little access things. I'm not a trucker. I don't know what all of them do. But we do have smokestacks. We do have stacks. They're very flexible plastic, because otherwise they would chop them short and they'd look stupid. The wheels are left unpainted on these, so that's not too big of a deal, really. Taillights are also left unpainted, though they are fully molded in, so at least the detailing is there. And here's something that Primes are infamous for these days. A trailer hitch that will never be used. Such a tease. This is evil when they do this. All around, very well detailed, very cool looking Optimus Prime. I am going to mention, just like I've been mentioning on the previous reviews, mine does have a few gap issues here in the hood. This doesn't like to stay closed, and while this even gap I can handle, I've got kind of a big one there. Now, I know every time I point these out, someone in the comments says, mine's fine, just rearrange the parts inside of them and it'll work fine. If it was that simple, I wouldn't point it out in the review, and I've got a friend who has the exact same problems on his. If it's a problem that persists, I have to bring it up so people know before they buy this. Because sometimes it is a deal breaker. Anyway, ranting over. Here in the back is pretty much where the transformation, or the vehicle mode, rather, kind of falls apart. No solid back piece here, so it's a lot of exposed little bits from transformation, and you can see the hinges and extensions that allow the transformation. So, it's a little annoying, not that you're going to see him from this angle very much. But you will see this angle, because this is how he stores his weapons. Little holes on the rear section of the vehicle can store both of his weapons very awkwardly. This is the ultimate prevention from tailgating. So it does look a little bit silly, but at least you've got a place for them to go while he's in vehicle mode. So, that out of the way, it's a very nice vehicle mode. Let's give those weapons a place to properly go, but we need robot mode for that. Prime's transformation is actually quite the surprise. I mean, there are a lot of panels going into his construction. However, all of them are taken care of extremely well. You've got ones on the side that fold into a backpack, but it becomes very flush and show accurate even. It doesn't feel like cheating like most panel formers are for me. It honestly feels like the best way of getting this Prime from one mode to another. Overall, the transformation is pretty much standard Optimus, but the engineering on it is so clever, it feels like a fresh transformation. And out of an Optimus Prime, especially a long-nosed Optimus Prime these days, that's something I find very noteworthy. In robot mode, Optimus is just plain impressive. Everything about this toy strikes me in just the right way. This is what I wanted out of a modern Optimus, not the skeleton that rips faces off while having loose bits of a truck stuck to him. No, look at him. He looks solid and cohesive. He looks contemporary, very modern in design, and he still looks like a solid robot. This is everything a modern Prime should be designed like. But it's just one reviewer's opinion. Let's see if it's your opinion as well. Starting with the head. Huge crest, but that's accurate for the show, so we can roll with it. Very fierce look. You see him here with a faceplate on, as is typical of Prime toys, even when they do have mouths these days. He does have light pipe eyes, however, you really do have to kind of get right into him to get that light really going. It's just, the eyes are just too small to correctly get the piping out. So in dim conditions, yeah, he's dead. I hate that. A lot of tech detail here in the chest. Yeah, a lot are going to rail this toy because he's using a cheat for his chest. Those aren't his actual windshields. But again, as I said, this really did feel like the best way of getting him from one mode to another. I really don't mind a cheat like this, so long as it looks this good, and in the end, it's fairly minor. The rest all came from where it's supposed to. A lot of details going here into the midsection. Couple little yellow dots there, just kind of fake some of the lights he had in vehicle mode. More faking. Some blue around the midsection. Legs touched in silver, some gray as well, left over from different plastic moldings. One little inaccuracy here is the back of his feet are red, leftover kibble from the vehicle mode, but oh no, it still works. Big black feet, it's enough of a distraction. I'm good with it. And we've got the arms as well. Very slick, very sleek, very solid looking considering it is made of panels that have been folded up. And here on the right shoulder, we have a nice silver Autobot logo as seen in the show. In the back too, like I said, very flat backpack for what panels he did have to fold away. And still got the smokestacks in the right spot. That is show accurate. So is the tires here in the shoulder, however, they do have a bit more of an angle in the show. Still, very commendable, and I'll also point out tons of detail around the neck, too. So, even in the spots you wouldn't normally see, really didn't slouch. All around. Exceptionally well done job on this toy. And that continues to articulation. Just like most of the series, he is a ball-jointed head, though he doesn't really have much up and down movement this time. In fact, I'd wager to say none, unfortunately. But he does have full motion all the way around, so you can have his head turning, no problem. Shoulders, you can see this panel does fold up to get it out of the way as you move the arms around. Full forward and all the way out, so pretty much any position for the shoulders works, and that actually does help make his arm look a little bit more solid as you pose him. It's a nice design detail that I only see in Japanese figures for the most part. Bicep swivel, elbow, let's see, how far can we get this one to go? If I can, hang on. Yeah, our standard 90 degrees. Well, I'll take it, why not? Wrist swivel as well. Moving that back down. We have a waist joint left over from transformation, though it's ratcheted, so you only have a few spots on it. And it does look a little bit awkward because the hinge piece is on the very back of him. That's where it pivots, like right there on his spinal cord. So I wouldn't go any farther than that to try and get a pose out of him, but it's there if you want it. Ball joints on the hips, a lot of range of motion here. Very wide stance as possible. The knee, 90 degrees, that's fine. No ankle tilt, and strangely enough, he's not actually molded for a natural stance like the rest of them have been. But it's not that big of a deal. The feet are so wide, he does stand up just fine without that little extra help. So that's fine. No worries there. So fine articulation all around, and yeah, I should mention, yeah, he does have a swivel above the knee just before, because I know some of you are already going to the comment section. Don't worry, I did remember. The leg panels that form the front of the legs and the feet don't really hold on all that well. It's just frictioned in there, and only just. So, even in posing it for this review, just goofing around with it a little bit, those have come open. So that's an unfortunate little drawback. But, I don't know, yours might be tighter than this, but again, it is a flaw that I have seen repeated. How about those accessories we were talking about? Well, I was talking, you were listening. It'd be silly, or actually really weird if I could hear you talking right now. The blaster, you can see, molded in a speckled black plastic to give it more of a military, or more of a heavy-duty look to it. Very gunmetal gray in overall appearance. Little tiny barrel and underside, barrel right there. Very nice, very hefty looking weapon. It fits in his hand and actually goes deep enough to cover it to give the illusion of his hand transforming into the cannon. So that's always a nice touch when they actually remember to do that. This is the one that I really want to talk about. His blade. You can see this one actually did get some all-spark blue paint on it. It is very flexy rubber. So no poking out eyes with this one. You can fit it to either hand, though only one side has smooth molding, the other one has a gap. It goes into his hand just like the blaster, which means it does completely cover the hand to give the illusion of it being an inbuilt weapon sticking out of his forearm. However, I do have to ask you, does it look like his blade is upside down? I mean, that's not just me that sees that. I mean, this might be screen accurate, I can't remember, but, I mean, in just in the concept of the toy, yeah, that's upside down. It just doesn't look right. And yeah, you can technically put it upside down and get the blade correct, but the flush effect doesn't work quite as well that way. And you can see the hand on the top. I don't know, that's just a weird little nitpick I happen to pick up on. It is a very small downside to what is otherwise a phenomenal figure. I mean, I hate transforming this one because the robot mode just looks so freaking good on its own. I don't want to ever see it out of this mode. Now, as far as comparisons go, I don't actually own the new Optimus Prime. However, I have seen it in person, so I can bring first-hand experience. It does not look nearly as good. It's only using one shade of gray plastic, which makes it look a lot less detailed and a lot less intricate, and it's got no red paint on the chest, so he looks incomplete. And then there is the clear plastic on the forearms. It's not the forearms that bug me, that's part of the gimmick, fine. It's the translucent plastic elbows that really scare me. And it deeply concerns me how long those are going to last over time, because those will bear stress, which means they will be prone to fracture. And while I've heard it is a really nice toy, it just honestly just doesn't look nearly as good as this one to me. And that's a personal preference. You might be of the contrary opinion. That's fine. The purpose of these reviews is to let you know how the first editions are, and then you decide for yourself if the mainline one is an acceptable replacement, or if you even like it better. It's all up to you here. I'm just stating my opinions. But in my opinion, this is a fantastic Optimus Prime. And if you have the option of getting it cheap, like if you live in Canada or Asia and can get this off of a toy shelf, by all means, don't wait for the mainline one. This is the Prime that belongs in a Prime shelf. A Prime shelf for the series Prime, not an Optimus Prime shelf like I have. Well, it does belong in that too, but okay, this is going way off track. This is a really great toy, bottom line. And next up, I've got to review his counterpoint. We're going to the dark side.